separately, and we brought then men and women together.
The years before this was, a male-dominant sport. Females have come into the sport and, we're showing that we can be really strong and capable too. So that's a really good feeling.
In IPF, in our sport, every time somebody is there to help out. And I think this is a very good values, to be honest, to be fair play, to respect each other. I'm motivated by all the friendship we have over the world, that it's for me a much bigger value than having a lot of money.
It's not only something that I love to do as a sport, but it's so many friends, I've seen so many things, and I've had so many opportunities that I never ever dreamed I could have.
It's really cool to come to people from France or Italy or Germany or Japan, and we all have this commonality of wanting to be strong and better powerlifters, and it kind of brings us together.
Everything has to match, especially we, as physios or as coaches, we try to maximize what the athletes can perform in this time frame, and we try to give our best.
So they can do their best.
It's really cool that now I have friends in a community across the world, opposed to just like within my city, and like we get along great. I message them all the time on like Instagram or whatever the case may be, just like check in. The silver lining to it all, it teaches you to continue to work. It teaches you that there's still stuff to be done. It pushes you to be better, to do more. Sometimes if you're at the top, you can get complacent.
My dream is that we should become IOC recognized sport. The athletes fighting for the medals, and I'm fighting for the IOC recognition, and I say every time to the athletes, never give up.
And that's a wrap. Let's go see the competition.
Hello and welcome to the 2023 IPF World Classic Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships. I'm Amelia Potter, joined here by German international coach Hendrik Becker. Hello, Hendrik.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for joining me again. And this morning we have for you the 63 kilo junior class. Last night, if you saw it, we had a really exciting 63 kilo sub-junior class, and I'm sure the juniors are going to live up to the hype that the sub-juniors brought. It will be a 2-flight session, as it is such a competitive class. So we will see all of the first group squats before going straight through to the second group squats. And I'm sure we have a very exciting session for us this morning.
I think so too. Like when I did my research, I think we may have a very close battle from 2 athletes for the gold medal, and then there are like 4 athletes who can take on the bronze. It could be really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's getting so close and the standard is so high. And first up we have Yuhui Chua of Singapore, opening 105 kilos.
It's her first international competition. Let's see how she can do. That looked nice and easy and deep.
And it was a good lift. So when we say a squat looks deep, a lifter needs to make depth, which means their hip crease needs to move below the top of their knee. We now have Patricia Tomczyk of Poland, 120 kilos.
Yeah, born in 2002, and from what I could tell, it's also her first international competition, at least on the world stage.
She stands it up nice and strong, and 2-1, a good lift. She just gets a depth call from the left-hand side. So if we look at the replay, this is the side she gets the depth call from.
Yeah, I was a little concerned initially, but I think that looked fine.
Yeah, even from the angle that she got the red from, it looked okay, I think.
Yeah. And I'm so happy when you explain the rules in English, because it's really hard, like from a non-native speaker, to actually say these things.
You'll be able to do it much better in German, though, than I will, I'm sure.
I hope so.
We now have Megan Janes of Canada, 120 kilos for her opening attempt. There's a strong looking opener from Megan.
You really want your opener to be nice and easy. Like, there's no worse feeling when your opener feels heavy.
Yeah, 2-1, a good lift. Yeah, you know, you need to be able to grow from there. But also, if you need to take your opening attempt for any reason, you want it to be a weight that you feel comfortable doing again, having to hold, having to re-rack. So it's important you open somewhat conservatively. Now have Melissa Akus of Turkey, 125 kilos.
Also for her, it should be her first international competition, like, which is obviously more the case for the lifters at the beginning. At the top end, obviously, they're more experienced normally.
Squats are nice and deep, though.
Yeah, looked good.
Yeah, and 3 white lights, a good lift. And as you said, this is less than 1 year of competing for Melissa.
Yeah, and she already on the world stage. It must be quite a feeling.
Yeah, it's very impressive to do. We now have Dominika Jansova of Czechia, 125 kilos.
She's actually a very experienced lifter. She has 9 international competitions done already.
Yeah, and I think she also competed in the equipped earlier in the week.
Oh, I don't know that. But this looked really good. She's, yeah, 3 white lights. She's also doing a lot of bench press competitions, university cups. And she was actually a medalist in the Sub-Juniors European Championships in 2019.
So a lot of experience, and you can tell the way that she handled that opening attempt.
It's for her, it's business as usual.
$130 kilos for Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland, our first Swiss athlete I think we've had so far this championships.
Oh, that could be true, actually. I don't remember another one. But with all the sessions, it's squat PB of 140 kilos, opening with 130, so she could potentially match or increase this if all goes to plan.
Wow, nice and deep.
I think there's no question for this one.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift and a really nice looking opening attempt. And if you weren't sure about the depth first time round, I'm sure the replay will show you from the side how deep that was.
Yeah, she has a very narrow stance, so she has to go really deep, but this was more than enough.
We now have Grace Allenson of Great Britain, 130 kilos. Her last year in the juniors, but has only been competing for 1 year. So again, so impressive that she's here on the international stage.
Yeah, Great Britain with 2 athletes here. She got second at the national championship this year in April with a total of 412.5 kilograms. I would say that I think that would look good.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. That's a nice opener from Grace. I thought it would sound less biased coming from you.
But like no drama so far.
No.
That's really good.
Yeah, we are seeing some really well chosen openers, and I hope that continues for the next 3 lifters. First of which, Jana Dutedois of Belgium, 132.5 kilos.
Yeah, There's no question. Relatively tall lifter for the 63s.
Yeah, and you can see there she has the squat arms in, and a lifter can request that at any point. Usually in the lighter weight classes, it's so they don't clip the rack. You see it in the heavyweight men where they have it because they actually grip the outside because they're so big.
Yeah, the shoulder mobility in the big man is not as it is in smaller women.
You're absolutely right there.
It's not that hard to call.
135 kilos for Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada.
Yeah, it's her first international competition, born in 2001. She totaled 421 in February, and I think she won junior nationals in Canada with that. A little bit of work, but looks fine.
And it is a good lift. Yeah, and it's always quite hard to tell on openers because there might be an element of nerves. People from different parts of the world have travelled, a different distance. Canada, obviously, quite far from where we are here in Cluj-Napoca in Romania. We have our last opener now, Anne-Sophie Briest of Belgium, 140 kilos. We'll then move straight through to our second attempt for this first flight of ladies.
Yeah, she has competed internationally before. Last year she was at the European and the World Championships for juniors. It's her last year as a junior. 4 international competitions already. She should not be flattered by the circumstances here.
Wow, and I think our quickest opener of the flight.
That was really, really good. And only 10.5 kilos below her PB. So I think that is going to be broken, hopefully.
Yes, that must be a Belgian or regional record there.
Yeah, if the PB is not a multiple of 2.5, then it indicates a record of some sort, national, international, or even regional.
And that concludes our opening attempts with all of our lifters managing to get a squat on the board, which is a fantastic start to the day. And move straight through to our second round. Kicking us off, we have Yu Hui Chua of Singapore, 112.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, that looked good as well.
And 2-1, a good lift. She just does get a depth call from the right-hand side referee. Now here on the replay, we'll be able to see from the side, but it will be the side that she gets the white light from, and I think she'll be safe with that.
She will be safe with that there. It can look totally different on the other side of the hip because lifters are so very rarely symmetrical, but I think I cannot believe that it was different on the other side, to be honest. So I think it was a good lift.
I think she'll be safe, yeah. We now have Patricia Tomczyk of Poland, 125 kilos for her second attempt, a 5 kilo jump. Ooh, and it's a little bit hard.
Yeah, but she gets caught on depth.
Yeah,
2-1.
I was worried a little bit about that, and I was wondering if it was the angle we were seeing it from. So let's have a look from the side and see if it's any better. But yeah, I think she just does cut it a tiny bit there.
I think so, yeah. Her knees came inward very quickly. That probably didn't help.
Yeah, it's not good enough to be parallel. You have to be below parallel. 127.5 kilos for Megan Janes of Canada. 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, a little bit of work, but I think that looked good.
Yeah, still looking really strong, and 3 white lights, a good lift. Seeing 3 white lights means that you know heading forward into the next lift, there's nothing you need to change about your form, which means you can just go forward and focus on the lift itself. 132.5 kilos for Dominika Jansova of Czechia. 7.5 kilo jump.
She came in 13th last year in Turkey. And as we said in the previous round, she's quite experienced. Probably knows that she can handle that weight.
Maintains her form the whole way through. And 3 white lights, a good lift for Yansova.
Yansova, the winning back from Czech Republic. Now we're waiting for Melissa Akus from Turkey. 125 on the bar. The bar is loaded.
135 kilos for Melissa Akas of Turkey. A 10 kilo jump from her opener. Pretty big jump here on squats.
Yeah, and I remember her first attempt because it was a little bit slower, I felt. So I'm really curious. Maybe she just squats slow?
Yeah, some people do. And she does stand it up. I'm worried she might have cut depth a tiny bit to get there. Nope, just from that angle, 2-1, a good lift, and the side referees have a far better view of depth. So
But
let's look from there.
But I think you're spot on. Like, it looked as fast or even faster than the first one, but probably because she didn't go as deep.
Yeah, and it looks like she just got depth. And you don't need to get depth to an extreme amount, you just need to get it. We now have Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland, 137.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah. And then she will be 2.5 kilos below her PB. So if this moves well, she will probably attack it in the third. But let's have a look at this one first.
Yeah, looks strong. She may even surpass her current PB on her third, and it is a good lift for Jessica. I wouldn't be surprised if she jumped 5 there to get a PB.
I would. I mean, she's not really in medal contention, so why not try for the PB?
Next will be Dutour, followed by Yuli Kerr.
137.5 kilos for Grace Allenson of Great Britain. This is her current PB here in her second, so we'll definitely surpass this in an attempt on her third should she get this. It's a little bit of work, but she does a really good job of pushing it through. And it's a good lift.
3 white lights, yeah, liked it. But maybe I would go 2.5 kilos here. It looked like, not that she might not can do 5 more, but...
No, I think 2.5 would be the safe choice there. There's no point of burning yourself out with bench and deadlifts to go. We have Jana Dutador of Belgium, 140 kilos for her second attempt.
Yeah, it's her last year as a junior.
And her first year.
And her first, yeah, and her
This is
first
her
year
first year
competing. Yeah, you're right. It's her first international competition as well. Yeah, it's a great squat, I think.
Yeah, and I think it will stay really good as the weight is added onto it.
I mean, she has longer limbs, and there naturally she has to slide more backwards, like with everything, and then it's often more hip dominant that way. But she's doing a great job.
Absolutely. We now have Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada, 142.5 kilos.
I like the belt. Very wide belt. You don't see it very often.
It is nice. It matches the SBD singlet.
It does.
Really nicely there.
And it matches the plate with her all-over outfit. It looks great.
It's very organized. So 7.5 kilos above her opener.
Oh.
Ooh, I think just lost a little bit of tension in the hole there.
Yeah, you're right, I think.
Let's have a look at that again on the replay. She'll probably retake that on her third. She has another shot at that. Sinks into the hole.
It's hard to tell. Maybe it was just too heavy. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, we'll find out on her third, but for now we have Anne-Sophie Brice of Belgium, 150 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from her opener, the heaviest opener and the quickest. So I'm sure this 10 kilos won't slow her down.
Well, 10 kilo jump in that range is pretty aggressive, but her opener was great, so.
Yeah, and as you alluded to before, this is 0.5 kilos below her best, which, as we said, is either a Belgian or regional Belgian record. Hits a small sticking point, but
Yeah.
hits a really deep squat and pushes through it really well. It's a good lift.
I can relate, like you can now see like her sticking point is pretty high, and for a lot of these lifters, like it looks very fast until it doesn't, and then you just stop. Exactly, for me that's the case.
Yeah, the drop-off point can be really quick, and we'll see that as we head into bench later as well, that it will keep going until it doesn't. And we move straight through to third attempts, as you can see here. The lifters without a lift in are in the next flight. But we have the third and final attempts of these ladies before moving through to the second flight. And first out we have Yu Hui Chua of Singapore, 117.5 kilos. A 5 kilo jump from her second.
Trying to match her personal best. And I think matching it on the world stage is much more worth than anything else.
Does a good job of it, it seems.
You are correct.
You might like to say good lift.
127.5 kilograms on the bar, making her personal best here. The bar is loaded. Next will be James, followed by Akus.
Patricia Tomczyk of Poland now missed 125 on her second, has gone up anyway to 2.5 kilos to 127.5 for her third and final attempt on squats.
Yes, she cut depth a little bit in the second.
So hoping the 2.5 kilos more will help her find it. Oh, and she fights it up. It looks like she might have found a little bit more depth, but was it enough? It was. 3 white lights, a good lift.
She is pretty excited about that. Good adjustment, really well done.
Yeah, a risky move, but did really well with it. And you see a lot of that in equipped, putting more weight on the bar to kind of find depth. 132.5 kilos from Megan Janes of Canada. 5 kilo jump from her second attempt.
It's quite a long way below her PB, 7.5 kilos. Maybe there was something in prep, maybe an injury or something. But anyway, it doesn't really matter, because building a total is a magical thing, and making attempts in the end, 9 from 9, and you will have a good total.
Oh, can't quite get through that sticking point there. And yeah, and there's a lot of athletes here who have traveled really far from opposite sides of the world. Canada, America, New Zealand, Australia, Japan. So, you know, different athletes have had different travel circumstances and time period adjustments as well.
And it does affect a lot of people. It really does.
You now have Melissa Akers of Turkey, 137.5 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from her second. As you said, it looked quite hard on her opener, and then she managed to do really well, adding 10 kilos. So 2.5 kilo jump here may be more sensible. Ooh, and fights it up. Again, it looks a little high from the front, but I think it could just be that angle. Yep, 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, new PB for her. She's really excited, and good attempt selection.
Yeah, that looks way better on second glance.
Next will be Jolicoeur, followed by Germain.
137.5 kilos remains on the bar for Dominika Jansova of Czechia. Has been competing for 5 years and has another year left in the juniors. And the experience shows with that final attempt.
Exactly my thoughts when I saw her standing up. Like, She stayed in position. That's not easy to do.
No, no, especially when you're getting near to that top end. And it really does help to stay in position when you add the extra weight. We have Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada, missed 142.5 kilos on her second. Coming back for it now on her third. Now, we weren't sure if it was a strength issue or she just sunk into the hole a little hard, so I think it will be revealed now for us. No, I think unfortunately it was just too heavy today.
Yeah, I think so too. And as you alluded to with the traveling, like can you imagine like you are traveling 36 to 48 hours while having to manage your weight? That's hard to do.
Yeah, and then adjust to the time zone. So they do incredibly well. 142.5 kilos for Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland. 5 kilo jump from her second. And we said we thought she'd go up 5 kilos. It seems like a good jump for her to jump above her current squat PB.
Yeah, PB on the world stage, that would be fantastic. She looks really focused. Wow.
Yeah, and didn't even seem to phase her. 3 white lights, a good lift with some energy left in the tank.
Definitely, like there were 2.5 more in there, but you can have this energy and use it at deadlifts.
Yeah, she's got more energy left for the rest of the day now. 142.5 kilos for Grace Allenson of Great Britain, a 5 kilo jump from her second attempt. And this will be for a 5 kilo PB.
She came in second at the British National Championships this year in April. I think we see the second British lifter in the second flight.
Oh, a great fight from Grace.
That was a good fight.
And 3 white lights, a good lift. Wow, best fight we've seen so far today, I think.
But I also think we get some more.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some more squats like that, but well done, Grace.
The squatting is really excellent this session, I have to say. Only 4 attempts red flagged, and it looks really good. I mean, you can expect it somehow on the world stage, but still worth mentioning.
We have Jana Dutedois of Belgium, 145 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her second attempt. Oh, she is fighting. Oh, I really thought she was going to get through that, but unfortunately not quite there.
And there's 2 tenths or seconds that she fought there. For her, it felt like 4 seconds probably when you're under the bar.
It feels like a lifetime, I bet. Yeah, wow. And she does push past it, but then just afterwards struggles to keep going, but a great effort nonetheless. Her teammate now, Anne-Sophie Brice of Belgium, 155 kilos. Our final attempt before heading through to the next flight of ladies.
Look how excited she is. Like, she knows she has it today. She just want to have fun. Like, it would be a 4.5 kilo PB. After her seeing her walking on stage, I cannot imagine that she doesn't make it.
Yeah, and I imagine this will be for a new national record for her to take back to Belgium.
Come on, push through, push through.
Again, like we said last time, it really keeps going until it doesn't.
I jinxed it. I'm so sorry. I'm Sophie. I'm really sorry. But you did great still.
Yeah, a fantastic squatter nonetheless, and still walks away with the heaviest squat from that flight. But we have some huge squats coming up, and you are going to have to wait until the end to see what I just saw. But you can see it now. Ludivine Delos there of France is opening on a junior world record. We'll have to wait and see that. First up, we have Yu Nomura
of Japan, 140 kilos for her opening attempt. Now she has a huge deadlift on her, I remember from last year.
And she is super experienced. Like, she has done 5 international competitions. She was 2018 sub-junior world champion. Her PB is from 2022.
And that is a good lift for you.
This flight is going to be amazing.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. And we have Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain opening on 145 kilos.
Her PB is 160 kilograms. So last year as a junior. That was a deep squat, I think.
Yeah, it looked really good, and it's a good lift for Soto Ruiz. $145 kilos for Joy Rindfleisch of the United States. Got a thumbs up there from Hendrik for pronunciation.
The pronunciation was amazing. She's a first-year junior lifter, has a huge following on social media.
And it was nice and strong. Let's see what the referees say. 3 white lights, a good lift. Has a quite narrow stance, so hard to tell depth sometimes from the front, but she did a fantastic job.
I was worried for a second because with a closed stance it's hard to see. But yeah, that was borderline but good, I think.
Yeah, she won't want to go any higher than that. We now have Betty Abera of the Netherlands opening on 150 kilos.
That's her second international competition. The first one was a Benelux Cup. She did 452.5 total in April and has 2 more years as a junior.
Yeah, and to be in the stronger flight of lifters here in her first year of competing is huge. Wow, that was an easy opener for Betty.
Everything on this just looked strong.
Yeah, that was a nice looking opener. 3 white lights, a good lift for Betty Abera. $155 kilos for Daisy Areola Garcia of the United States.
She's a national champion. She beat Joy in nationals in, I think, April. She has had trouble with squats before, like often only getting 1 in. So hopefully this time she can show us something better.
Must be an exciting nationals, a fight between those two.
Definitely. I saw her in training yesterday. She was really nice. We talked a bit. Strong lifter.
Wow, really strong opener there from Daisy Areola Garcia. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Well done.
Strong start to the day. And we hope to see it carry on for our next 5 lifters. We now have a familiar face in the sport of powerlifting, Alba Bostrom of Sweden, opening up 162.5 kilos.
And she's projected 2nd overall. She was 2nd at the European Championships and 2nd at the World Championships last year. 3rd at the World Championships 2021. She is super experienced.
And you can tell with that squat that she has the experience and is a fantastic squatter. 3 white lights, a good lift for Alba.
You have to watch out for her when it comes to the medal race. Don't forget her face.
At 21 years young and 7 years competing for the British athlete with a personal best of 166 kilograms. Next, the bar is loaded. Next will be Haber, followed by Casagranada.
We now have Lucy Robinson of Great Britain opening on 162.5 kilos. Her squat PB is 166, a junior British record. Really nice there. Slowed down a little bit in the middle, but looked really strong. And we know she's a good squatter. 3 white lights, a good lift.
165 kilograms on the bar. Beating her personal best.
Yeah, really tidy squat there from Lucy. We have Clara Isabel Haibera of Germany.
Yeah, Isabel is one of the most exciting lifters, new lifters in Germany. It's her first international competition. She has been in the national team only since 2 months. I think she is the biggest female talent we have currently.
Wow.
Sorry to say all this, but sometimes she struggles a little bit with squat depth.
Well, let's see how 165 kilos moves for Isabel. That depth looked good from that angle. Let's see if the referees agree. 3 white lights, a good lift.
And that already ties her PB.
And to say that you think she's the biggest German talent with Decker winning yesterday says a lot as well. So a lot of talent coming out of Germany, you say?
Yeah, like our team really picked up the last year. And obviously I'm coaching Helena, so I think highly of her. But we have to move on to the next lifter.
We now have Federica Casagranda of Italy opening on 170 kilos. This is a huge opening attempt, just 14 kilos below the world record. And that looked strong. And 3 white lights, a good lift. I am excited to see what she's going to do for her second, let alone her third.
And now?
We just have one opening attempt left, and it's taking a little bit longer because the plates need to be shown to the jury and to the referees as it is a chip. We wait here for our final opening attempt, may I remind you, for Ludivine Delos of France. 184.5 kilos for Ludivine of France on her opening attempt, attempting a world junior squat record. Chipping it by 0.5 of a kilo. It can only go up from here. Let's see if she can break the world junior record with her opener. Oh, and it's hard, but she pushes through, and oh my goodness, she struggles to stand it up. And that is a concerning beginning for the French team there, as she is predicted first overall. So I'm hoping that it was just nerves or a position thing, because the last thing you want to do is try and open on a world record and then struggle to get up from strength. So we will have to see how she does with that on her second. If I know anyone can come back strong, I know it's the French team. We move straight through to our second attempts. 150 kilos for Yu Nomura of France. Yu Nomura of Japan. Still in shock.
10 kilo jump from her first attempt. As we said before, she's very experienced, so probably she knows that she can do that. You would expect that.
Oh, but it's hard.
I'm jinxing people right now. I'm so sorry. And
No.
I also thought it wasn't deep enough, to be quite honest. Like, hard to tell, obviously, from the angle, but
Yeah, I mean, we can see here in the replay, and I think it was very borderline, but I think you alluded to the fact that 10 kilos is a still big jump in this flight, in this weight class. $152.5 kilos for Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain.
she finished third in the European Championships 2021 and last year.
Yeah, and she's predicted on prognosis third overall as
She-
it stands
She
here.
she has a massive deadlift on her. Squatting super deep and very controlled. And if you have a huge deadlift, like her opener is currently at 200 kilograms, like you just want to collect as many kilos as possible to get a good position for the deadlift where you can really shine.
Absolutely. We now have 152.5 kilos for Joy Rindfleisch of the United States. A 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
It's getting really loud in here already.
It's a very exciting session to be here for.
Yeah.
And it's still moving well. Let's see what the referees say. Ooh, unfortunately, 2-1, a no lift. She gets called there on depth from the center and left-hand side referee. Let's watch the replay. This is the side she gets no depth from.
Wow.
Her coach isn't disputing it, so maybe he agrees with the call. Oh no, he is going over now. There we go. But first up, we have Betty Abera of the Netherlands, 157.5 kilos. And the jury did send him away. They agree with the call.
The jury should normally only step in when it's like not an obvious mistake, but you can see that something went wrong. But when it's really borderline, the jury normally doesn't step in, and I think that was too close to call, and then they don't.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a 7.5 kilo jump for Betty.
Her first squat looked really strong. Yes, I think she should get that.
Yeah, still looking really strong there for Betty. Keeps the form all the way throughout.
Really good lifting.
Yeah, and 3 white lights. Now it's just worth mentioning quickly before we jump into our next lifter that France are in a really difficult position right now, as if Ludovine can't get a squat in, the podium is blown wide open. We have 165 kilos for Daisy Ariola Garcia of the United States.
10 kilo jump, wow.
Yeah, her opener did look really strong, so let's hope 10 kilos is a good jump for her. Her squat PB is 177.5 kilos, so I'm sure this is well within her range.
Yeah, that puts it into perspective.
Yeah, and it still moves really nicely. Let's see what the referees say. 3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, really lovely second attempt from Daisy, and I wouldn't be surprised if I saw her jump maybe 5 to 7.5 there for her third.
Yeah, something like that. She squatted relatively heavy yesterday, like 145 I think saw in the gym, so that's quite unusual the day before competition.
That's very strange, yeah. Seems to be working for her though.
Or it might be on Monday, I'm sorry. Like maybe it was one day before. Anyway, not that important.
170 kilos for Alba Bostrom of Sweden, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener, which we know moved really nicely. And like I said, Alba is projected second overall, and without Ludovine having a squat in yet, the door is open.
Wow.
And she is trying to kick it open. That is a lovely second attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift for Alba Bostrom.
That might have even been a bit too conservative, like it looked really fast.
Yeah, she's trying to build her total slowly and surely, get those added kilos, and that's the smart way to fight your way to the top.
Yeah, she's experienced, she knows what she's doing. She's a powerlifting coach herself.
170 kilos now for Lucy Robinson of Great Britain, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener. Another lifter whose opener was really nice.
Yeah, and these numbers are already so huge.
Yeah, these are really strong women. Lucy is 21 years old, already squatting 170 in her second attempt. And still moving well. 3 white lights, a good lift, and space to move towards her third. Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany, 172.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, I agree with that call. I think that looked exactly, it should be 7.5. And when I said she's the biggest female talent, like she's coming up, like she just burst into the scene last year. Like Helena has been for like 4 years now. So that's like a little bit of the difference between the two.
The team is growing.
The team is growing. It's exciting times, really.
And it looks strong, almost pausing it in the hole there.
That's not unusual for her, actually.
2 to 1, a no lift. You did allude to the fact she struggles with depth issues sometimes. So let's have a look at that again on the replay. And it's so hard to tell. It's right on the line.
It's really hard to
and
tell.
And the jury has overruled it to a good lift.
And Hendrik Becker is happy.
You can't see the commentary booth. Hendrik threw his hand into the sky. Completely unbiased for the German team. We now have Federica Casagrande of Italy, 177.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
And her PB stands at 184, and that I'm not 100% sure, but I think that is the current world record, what the French girl is trying to take away.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the current world junior squat record that Ludovine then missed. Oh, and it's moving well still. And it looks like that she's going to slowly push, perhaps, onto her third, put some pressure onto Ludovine. Now, a difficult position for the French team, but an exciting attempt nonetheless. We have Ludovine Delos of France, attempted the world junior record on her opener and couldn't stand it up. Reattempting it now, 184.5 kilos, not just to get a squat on the board, but to get a new world junior squat record. Can she get it this time round? And it's looking better. She stands it up. Let's wait for the referees. 3 white lights. She's on the board, and that is a new world junior squat record for Ludovine of France. And she is back in the competition. but the gap is closing between her and Bostrom. It is going to be an exciting race all the way through. Hendrik, wow.
The French team is always gives us a show, right? I
They
mean,
love the drama.
but like, how much would you jump from this attempt? Like 1 kilo?
She has the advantage now. She can
Yeah.
just chip it. If she wants to go up 0.5 of a kilo, she can. We now move through to third and final attempts, and we have Yu Nomura of Japan retaking 150 kilos. Looked a little bit hard on her second. Let's see if she can get it up this time round. And it's moving better, moving much
Ooh,
better.
Wow, what was that? Oh, too bad.
Unfortunately, just not deep enough. 2-1 a no lift. The coach goes to the jury, so let's look at the replay. But they shake their head and send him away.
Yeah, and that is, I think that was the right call, to be honest. It was, again, borderline, and then you don't overrule.
We now have Joy Rindfleisch of the United States, missed 152.5 on her second, coming back for it now on her third. I believe it was a depth issue as well here.
Yeah, and I think she can adjust in the third. She's
Yeah.
the second heaviest lifter of the session. Like, she's 62.96 was her weigh in.
So you imagine she might have had a big cut into the competition. That looked way better. Can she stand up?
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes when you add a little bit more depth, the sacrifice is the strength. And as we said the other day, there's no freebies in powerlifting.
Exactly true. And she did great on the depth. Like, I think
Really
she
great job.
was good, but that's so unfortunate for her. But it's her first year as a junior, and she has still 2 sessions to recover: deadlift and bench press.
And she's a big bench presser. We now have Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain, 157.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her second attempt.
Two and a half kilos below her PB. As we said in the round before, she's just collecting kilos to show her great deadlift.
Lovely and deep. And a great final attempt. A perfect call there from the Spanish coaching team.
Absolutely perfect. That's how you do it.
Yeah, and because she's on the same predicted total as Hybera, and one of them will get bronze, I imagine, there, as that's what they're fighting for. It'll be about adding the kilos that they can heading into those final deadlifts.
The medal race will be so amazing. I cannot wait.
Yeah, do stick around for that. 160 kilos for Betty Abera in the Netherlands, and her squats have looked consistent all the way through, and I can't imagine 2.5 kilos is going to change that.
I think it's a good call. Like, the second one looked heavy. I think she might have 162 in her. Like, well, we will know the answer pretty soon. But I really like her squat.
Yeah, she's projected 7th, and that's only 20 kilos away from the podium, so not impossible. Yeah, a perfect call there.
Perfect call, yeah. I was wrong. They were right.
3 might like say good lift, and as she gets to the top, she says, "Oh my goodness, I did it."
Yeah, and like yesterday in the 57s, like place 2 to 5 were 2.5 kilograms apart. Every kilo matters.
And a lot of these juniors, because they're newer to the sport, they've not, on many occasions, pushed through a grind like that. So it will be new to them. A fantastic job from Betty. We now have Daisy Ariola Garcia of the United States, 172.5 kilos, and this will pull her into squat bronze for the time being, with Bostrom to follow. Daisy's the lightest of the two, so only needs to lift 172.5 to push Alba. Oh, and she is pushing through.
Did she find depth? I think she did. Yes, she did.
3 white lights, a good lift, and she moves into bronze position for squats. And as Elba is heavier, she's going to need to lift 2.5 kilos more, but then is chased by Lucy Robinson with the same weight, who is lighter.
And Alba Bostrom as well.
175 kilos for Alba Bostrom of Sweden. This will move her into squat bronze, and obviously the kilos she'll need to chase Ludovine.
Yeah, she squatted 180 a lot in training for a lot of singles, but she's also normally quite heavy, like in training, like she has to really cut. So she's playing it safe, I believe. We will see.
Doesn't look that safe to me.
No,
That looks nice and easy for Alba. 3 white lights, a good lift, and 3 reds aside.
So she's chasing, definitely.
Yeah, and at the very least, she is pulling far away from the bronze medal. She's saying, I'm at least walking away with the silver.
Yeah.
175 kilos now for Lucy Robinson of Great Britain. A 5 kilo jump to pull her into squat bronze for the time being, which can only be taken from high bearer now,
Yeah.
as Lucy is the lighter of herself
She's done
and
6.
Bostrom.
She's done 6 international competitions. As a sub-junior, she was a European champion. Experienced, has 2 more years as a junior.
Nice and deep and moved.
Wow.
Well for Lucy there. A 5 kilo PB and moves herself
Wow.
into squat bronze.
That is impressive. Like, she has been at it for several years, and like 5 kilo PB on the world stage. Oh, she's sending a message.
Yeah, she's a very hard worker. We now have Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany, 177.5 kilos, and this, for a 4th time, is to take the athlete into squat bronze. These athletes are really chasing for that squat bronze medal.
Yeah, and if she makes it, there will be a fist in the air on the commentator booth, I can show you.
And if she doesn't, Lucy Robinson of Great Britain does. Get it?
Yeah, so then you might be happy.
One of us will win.
That would be a 12.5 kilogram PB from before the competition. She already has 7.5.
Can she pull herself into squat bronze? Oh, she's
Yes.
fighting through.
Yes. That was good.
And
yeah, that
3
was.
right lights,
Oh, wow.
a good lift, pulls herself
Wow.
into squat bronze, and had a little bit of a nervous stumble there in the second, not getting the lift and it being overturned by the jury to a good lift. So a very lucky escape there.
Great. And perfect. But now we have something exciting to come.
We do indeed. We have Federica Casagrande of Italy looking to take back the world junior squat record from Ludovine, who took it on her second. She's chipping it by 0.5 of a kilo. And we haven't seen Ludovine yet, so we know she's coming out next for a world junior squat record. Federica Casagrande, 185 kilos. She's fighting through and she is pushing, but unfortunately it's just a little too heavy for her today, which means Ludovine Delos walks away with the junior record regardless. But I think she wants to break it one more time.
I imagine she will. She wants to, and it's quite an ask, I think. She got put out of position twice, but managed the second time. Like, maybe if she gets it a little bit better this time.
Yeah, and we will find out very shortly whether it is there for her. She will walk away with the world junior squat record regardless, but will it be 184.5 or will she add the extra kilos? 188 kilos on the bar for the junior lifter to break the world junior squat record for a second time today. fighting it up. She's standing, but unfortunately just can't stand it up. Luckily has that one attempt in, and the one attempt she did get in was a world junior squat record. So she still walks away with squat gold as well as the new junior world squat record. How exciting has that been?
We had 4 world record attempts, 1 extra new world record in the session, like 6 people squatted above 170.
And we're only at the beginning of the day. Very quickly before we head into a 10-minute break, Ludovine Delos of France walking away with squat gold and a new world record in the juniors with 184.5 kilos. In silver medal for squats, we have Federica Casagrande of Italy. And in bronze, we have Clara Isabel Hibera of Germany. Don't go anywhere. We will see you soon.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes, and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground, with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
Hello and welcome back to the 2023 IPF World Classic Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships. I'm Amelia Potter, joined here today by Hendrik Becker.
Hello, everyone.
And we just had a really exciting squat session. We saw Ludovine Delus of France break the World Junior squat record, had a little bit of trouble with it on her opener, managed to get it on her second. We also saw Federica Casagrande of Italy attempt for it at 185 on her third and final attempt, but miss it unfortunately. So I'm sure heading into bench, it will be very exciting. We have 2 flights of ladies, both 63 kilo juniors, and kicking us off in the first flight, we have Yu Hui Chua of Singapore, opening on 50 kilos.
Yeah, I think it's like 20 girls, 2 flights. That's like a perfect size for like such a session. Like it's going pretty quick, but not too quick.
Yeah, you don't want it to be so quick that the athletes don't have time to recover.
You have a lot of stories to tell in between during the competition. Like not stories to tell, but like competition stories. My English failing me here right now. Anyway, the attempt was good. Easy opener.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you want your opener to look. Something that, as we keep saying, you could do any day of the week with your eyes shut under any circumstance. You know, you do see some teams sometimes open a little heavier and try to just add more increments from there, but it's a bit more risky. We have Jana Dutedois of Belgium, 67.5 kilos.
Yeah, for lighter women, like 5 kilo increase in bench press is percentage-wise, it's a huge jump, and you should never forget that. So there's often in these ranges, there's like easy opener, then 5 kilo jump to the second, and then see what's left in there.
Yeah, of course. And 2.5 kilo jump is the smallest jump you can make in the 63s and the 120 plus. Three white lights, a good lift. $70 kilos for Melissa Akers of Turkey.
She had a great squat session. She was really happy, basically dancing from the platform after her third squat. Hope she can continue on this journey.
Nice strong looking opener there for Akers.
She's having fun.
And it's important that the athletes do, you know, I think it's easy to forget that you're here because you want to compete, but also because you love the sport.
Yeah, that's true. Like sometimes competing can be a chore, I think is the word, but you should never forget why you got into sports in the first place.
And that was a good lift. Megan Janes of Canada opening on 70 kilos. Already well above body weight here for these openers.
She's one of our younger lifters, like 20 years old, born in 2003, so a lot of time in the juniors left. Self lift off. You can request like the spotter to make you lift off, or you can do it yourself. That's your choice.
3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, there are a couple of things you can request in the bench press. A handoff is one of them, and you can also request blocks for your feet. And they'll just put a certain size block under your feet, usually for some of the slightly shorter lifters to help them with their leg drive. Anne-Sophie Brice of Belgium, 75 kilos for her opening attempt.
She seems to really have fun, like she's smiling. Did she get, she barely missed her third squat, that was like the 5 kilo PB, 4.5 kilo PB, but she's still in a good mood, and she's actually requesting the handoff. It's a long range of motion, long-limbed lifter.
A nice strong opener nonetheless. And 3 white lights, a good lift, opening on 75 kilos, so getting those red plates either side, which is a big milestone for a lot of lifters.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Just like Patricia Tomczyk of Poland, who is also opening on 75 kilos, which is her current bench press PB.
Yeah, a lot of lifters start out in a normal commercial gym where there's normally 20 kilo plates or 45 lb plates, and then once you go to powerlifting, then like the red ones are the ones that you want.
Ooh, a little bit hard there, but she manages to lock it out. And 3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, there are also gym bro numbers, aren't there? As well as powerlifting numbers to hit.
Gym bro numbers are important. But yeah, that is really heavy for an opener. Maybe there was just some technical issue, we don't know.
Yeah, technical issues, nerves, but like we said, some countries do like to open heavier and build from there. 82.5 kilos for Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland. Opening just 5 kilos below her current bench press BB.
Yeah, she got 9th in the European Championships last year, so not her first rodeo on the international stage.
Wow, nice and easy for Jessica.
Wow. That's how you want an opener to look like.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift, and I think our easiest looking opener so far. But definitely not our lightest. That's a big opening bench. Dominika Jansova of Czechia, 85 kilos.
Yeah, she's also competing bench only, as you said, equipped. So she knows the in and outs. There shouldn't be any surprises coming our way here. 85 already pretty huge opener for a 63 kilogram woman.
And looking nice and quick still. 3 white lights, a good lift for Jansova.
The bar is loaded and she's approaching. She's having a personal best of 87.5 kilograms.
85 kilos for Grace Allenson of Great Britain. This is a big opener, as you said, heavier than some of the lifters in the second flight.
Yeah, and it's opener 2.5 kilo below her PB. So if that moves well, then we can be pretty sure that bench press went really well in training. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But it does look like it based off of that.
Yeah, I think a 5 kilo jump is absolutely manageable here, and that
It's
would
a
be a new PB.
good lift, and yeah, I think I agree with you. More than justifiable there to go at least 5 kilos up.
Like, yeah, there's a slight hesitation on the chest, but like I think 5 kilo is good. Well, let's see, but I would.
We now have Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada opening on 95 kilos. This is a big opening attempt. Just 6 kilos below what looks like could be a Canadian record in the 63 junior class at 101.
That's the heaviest opener in the first flight. And only 4 or so girls open heavier in the second one as well.
And it looks good. 3 white lights, a good lift, and Canada having some really strong benches so far in this competition. Another good example, Tori Laperriere last night with a big bench, so Canada showing up there.
Tori is amazing. Her bench is like, it's just all strength. Like, it's just, I love it. And she managed bronze in total.
We now have our second attempts, and kicking us off we have Yu Hui Chua of Singapore, 55 kilos.
Yeah, it's a 5 kilo jump, but it's also like a 10% jump, which is really something you wouldn't normally do in any other discipline in powerlifting. But it's like, yeah, it's the nature of the bench press in these weight ranges.
Yeah, and it's a good point to put that into perspective. I mean, if you put that into perspective of a 120 plus jumping that percent of their body weight, it's big. Nice, steady looking second attempt.
And that equals her PB. Did we have a single red light until now? I don't think so.
We haven't seen one, which means they can keep doing what they're doing, and as long as they repeat how they lifted their opener in terms of technique, they won't go too far wrong. We have Joanna Dutedois of Belgium.
8 of the girls elected for a 5 kilo jump, and 2 of them for a 2.5 kilo jump. So pretty normal.
A little bit hard there towards lockout, but she manages to do it. And it is a good lift. That was a 5 kilo jump, and as you said, that's a pretty large percentage of their body weight.
You saw the shaking of the butt a little bit on the bench, so maybe when she goes for a third attempt, like she really has to manage to let her buttocks stay on the bench. That will be, I think, a challenge for her.
Melissa Akos of Turkey, 75 kilos, another 5 kilo jump for this lifter, as we've seen from the last couple. This will be a matched PB on her second attempt.
A little bit different approach to the technique.
2 to 1, a good lift. Yeah, quite heavy on the chest, which you see with the heavier weight classes usually.
And
she gets a yellow from the right-hand side referee, which, as you alluded to before, usually that might mean that their glutes came off the bench, which isn't allowed.
I think in this case it was like sinking in after the press command. I think like the bar moved downward a little bit into her chest. I think that was it.
That would have been a blue command. So I think yellow was for her glutes, but it didn't get turned over, so I think she'll be okay.
Yeah.
75 kilos remains on the bar for Megan Janes of Canada. Another big bencher from Canada. And looking strong. And 2 to 1, a good lift, and that's the first depth call that we've seen so far this morning. Elbow depth. I think she's walking the border there, but she might be all right. But no, the jury has overruled that to a no lift, unfortunately, on the count of elbow depth. We have Patricia Tomczyk of Poland, 77.5 kilos for her second attempt. A nice soft touch on the chest, but is struggling to lock it out. And she does, and it is a fantastic job. Was there downwards movement? Yeah, unfortunately, 2 reds there, and she gets a blue infraction, which would be for downwards movement. And yeah, I think it just dips a little bit there. And Sophie Brice of Belgium, jumping 5 kilos to 80 for her second attempt. Just a reminder, we'll be moving straight through to the second flight of women after this. So that is where the bench medals will be determined, as we would have seen both flights of women lift.
It's the 5th international competition. Last year it's a junior. Good second attempt. And then, yeah, 3 white lights. I think you just add 2.5 kilos and hope for the best, or even know that you can do that. But I don't see a 5 kilo jump from this velocity.
No, as you said, it would be good just to get the extra couple kilos where she can and build the total. Dominika Jansova of Czechia now jumping 2.5 kilos from her opener to 87.5. Nice soft touch on the chest there. And 3 white lights, a good lift. The reason I keep mentioning soft touches is because you will only get the press command once the bar is motionless on your chest. And when you tend to do a softer touch, not only do you get the press command quicker generally, but it's easier to control the bar to and from your chest.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the technique that most women actually apply in the bench press. Heavier men often do the sink-in technique. We'll get to that in the later sessions.
87.5 kilos now for Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland, and jumped the 5 kilos we thought she might. Her opener was really speedy. I think the fastest opener we saw this flight.
Yeah, I agree. That was some work, but still very, very decent. Like, no technical breakdown, 3 white lights. Nicely done.
Yeah, and no technical breakdown is a great point there. You can see that she still has energy left to push, and being able to keep that form is going to help her a lot. 90 kilos on the bar for Grace Allenson of Great Britain, a 5 kilo jump from her opener, and should she get this, a 2.5 kilo bench press PB for her.
I think I saw the live stream of the British Nationals this year, and I think it looked amazing. I think you had a good show there.
Yeah, both junior and national open nationals were really fantastically run this year.
So wow, a 2.5 if we get white lights, which I'm sure we will. Huh?
Just waiting for that center referee. I can't imagine there was too much wrong with it. 2 to 1, a good lift. She does get a depth call.
On the left elbow, I believe.
No, it's from the center referee. Oh, for the left elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes, like you said, with squat, one side, both in the hip and the elbows, can be a bit uneven.
But 2.5 kilo PB on the second attempt, that's great.
We now have our last second attempt before moving through to thirds. Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada, 100 kilos, a huge bench attempt on her second.
And she has an outside chance of medaling in the bench press. I mean, there's a couple of girls open heavily on the second flight, but if she can get all three in. Unfortunately, she scored for downward movement. I think you could see it in the live stream. Blue card is downward movement of the bar. And yeah, you can see it there dipping.
Yeah, unfortunately, she does have another attempt at that, of course, on her third. So hopefully she can push that up in one clean movement. But we move straight through to third attempts. And kicking us off, we have Yuhui Chua of Singapore, 57.5 kilos, 2.5 kilo jump.
That would be a new personal best for her, and basically in her first year competing.
Oh, just a little bit too heavy, unfortunately, today.
Well, but she equaled her personal best.
Yeah,
that's already an achievement.
On the biggest stage in the world that you could have done so on.
And it's really big stage. It's already crowded in here. We have it's like 10 in the morning, and people are the room is stacked, and it will be for deadlifts even more so.
Absolutely. Another 2.5 kilo jump here for the next lifter, Jana Dutedois of Belgium, 75 kilos for her third and final attempt, getting those 2 red plates. 1 red plate aside, a huge milestone for the lifter should she get this. Oh, she's fighting, but unfortunately it seems just a little bit too heavy today for the Belgian lifter.
Yeah, not quite there yet, but it will be soon enough.
Megan Janes of Canada missed 75 kilos on her second attempt, looking to come back now and get it on her third.
I think that's a huge lift for her personally. Like if you just get in your opener and bench, then you are not satisfied. But if she manage to pull this out now, then she will be fine.
And she is pushing through. Wow, what a fantastic fight from Megan Janes. Just wait for the referees. 2-1, a good lift. The right-hand side referee seems to think the bar dipped down. But let's have a look at that replay and see if it does. Doesn't look like it.
No, I think it just stopped.
Yeah, and it can stop. It can move side to side, front to back. As long as it doesn't go down, you are fine. Melissa Akis of Turkey, 77.5 kilos for her third and final attempt.
Yeah, her second was really heavy. But it's only 2.5 kilo. Yeah, she lets the bar sink in.
She does get it up, and let's wait and see what the referees say. 3 white lights, a good lift. And yeah, I think that was definitely a limit lift for her, so a really good call. Let's hope our next lifter can also retake her second and get it. We have Patricia Tomczyk of Poland, missed 77.5 kilos in her second, retaking it now on her third.
Wow, yeah. She really adjusted nicely to the situation, like first looked already heavy.
Yeah, and it is a good lift. We have 5 benches left before moving through to the next flight of ladies. And first up we have Anne-Sophie Brice of Belgium, 82.5 kilos, just half a kilo below her current best and her record that she holds. Just for reference, the world junior record is 133 kilos, held by Carola Garra.
I mean, in the men's as well, but in the women's there are some crazy bench specialists out there that are just miles ahead of everyone else. They are far in between, but they exist, and Carola Garra is maybe the best bench presser right now in the world.
Unfortunately, just a little bit too heavy for Anne-Sophie. Yeah, I mean, the women are really showing up. And to be fair, I think it'd be unfair to call Carola a bench specialist. She's just all round an excellent athlete. But I know what you mean. You know, we've got Agata, you have Carola, and now we have Dominika Jansova of Czechia, 90 kilos.
I want to add that Carola is my favorite international powerlifter, so I wasn't implying that she's just a bench specialist.
Half a kilo below her current record.
Come on, push! Ah.
Yeah, just a bit too much for her today, but a valiant effort. But a fantastic effort considering that she only competed in the equipped a few days ago, if I remember correctly.
That is really taking a toll on your body, really.
It really does in all that year. 90 kilos now for Jessica Jarames of Switzerland. This would be a 2.5 kilo PB for Jessica, should she get this. Or maybe even more so. I think she already broke it on her last.
Yeah, that's true. It was 85 before.
So to break it even further.
It's really nice that we have these live updates in the system. It's awesome.
Oh, and she's fighting through, and she has had an excellent bench session.
What a day for her. And she looks really happy.
Good lived. Yeah, so she should be. What a session.
Wow, yeah.
And it's nice to see nice lifting, you know?
Yeah. Drama is nice sometimes as well.
We now have Grace Allenson of Great Britain, 92.5 kilos for her third and final attempt.
Yeah, I wanted to say sometimes a little bit of drama is nice, but in general we want to see nice lifting. This would be a new PB for her. She also increased it 2.5 kilos already.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too heavy, and I think she clipped the underside of the rack as well. But as you said, has already increased her PB and had a really strong bench press session. Doesn't lose too much because, as you said, 2.5 kilos is the smallest increment you can jump. We now have Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada. Missed 100 kilos on her second and is now looking to get it on her third.
The last bench press of the first flight. As I said before, like, she has an outside chance of medaling, but she really needs to get this one for it.
Wow, that looked worlds better.
So, did she do everything correctly? Yes, she did.
That's a good lift. And moved how I imagine she wanted it to move in her second, but should be happy to walk away with that 3-digit bench.
That's such a huge milestone for a lot of women. Like 75, 2 reps, 100 kilos.
And we move straight through to the next flight of 63 kilo lifters. The heaviest opener from Alba Bostrom is 115 kilos.
Yeah, she played a little bit of mind games. She changed it from 105 before, so she is attacking.
We now have Lucy Robinson of Great Britain opening on 75 kilos, just 5 kilos below her current bench press PB. As you said, she's been competing for 7 years, but she is such a talented athlete that she continues to work hard and add to her total.
Yeah, you can improve a long time in powerlifting.
And that is a good lift, a really nice opening attempt, and I hope to see the same for the next few lifters, first up of which will add 2.5 kilos to the bar. Betty Abora of the Netherlands, 77.5 kilos for her opening attempt. Let's see if this moves as quickly as her squat opener did.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought there was something distinct about her squat. Like, just looked strong. I don't know how to describe it. Let's see if I can replicate this feeling on the bench press.
It was tidy.
It was tidy. Yeah, that's also a good way to put it. Yeah. A little bit of work, but nothing to worry about.
And a good lift.
I could see that they maybe jump only 2.5 kilos because you don't really know if the sticking point that you saw there in the middle. You will see it in the replay now. There's like 5 kilo could be the stretch. We will see what they decide to do.
We have Yu Nomura of Japan, 85 kilos.
Yeah. As we said before, like, it's her last year in the juniors. She was at the sub-juniors. She medaled at World Championships before in 2017, 2018. And that was 2-1, good lift. The center referee called for elbow depth.
Yeah, so let's look at that in the replay here. We now have Federica Casagrande of Italy, 85 kilos.
Yeah, she just missed her world record attempt in squats, but that was a very easy opener.
We now have Daisy Ariola Garcia of Daisy Ariola Garcia, 87.5 kilos, United States. Ooh, a little bit of sticking in the middle there, but it didn't look like a strength issue, or was just a technical thing. 2-1, a good lift, a blue from the left-hand side referee.
Yeah, that's a little bit of untidy attempt, but still strong.
We now have Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain, 95 kilos for her opening attempt.
Her PB is 103 kilograms, so that should be well within her reach.
Yeah, and that was nice and easy there. 3 white lights, a good lift for Soto Ruiz. 97.5 kilos for Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany.
Yeah, that is opening at her personal best that she managed to do nationals this year in April. So I think her bench press training has gone really well. She said one of her goals was to finally bench 100 kilo in competition, but let's see how this moves. That was
Wow, yeah.
nice and easy.
We just wait for the left referee. 3 white lights, a good lift, and more importantly, she's going to add the kilos as she's going to be fighting for podium overall against Soto Ruiz. We now have Ludovine Delus of France, 97.5 kilos. She walked away with the new world junior squat record.
But I'm sure she's hoping for a little bit less drama on the bench press event.
Yeah, and let's hope she gets it.
But still opening at her personal best. She was the European champion last year.
Yeah, it seems much less drama than her squat opener. And it is a good lift. She can now continue to build from here and try and move away from Alba. We now have Joy Rindfleisch of the United States. 102.5 kilos.
Yeah, the bench press is her weapon of choice.
Wow, nice strong opener from Joy.
That looked really easy.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. And she seems pretty happy with that. As you said, I think bench press may be her preferred lift. We now have our heaviest opening attempt, and as you alluded to, she moved it up from 105 kilos to 115. Alba Bostrom of Sweden looking to close the gap between her and Ludovine Delos of France. Let's see how 115 kilos moves for her.
She's doing a self handoff at that weight. That's crazy, but she trains it all the time, obviously.
A little bit hard, but I know Alba can push through a bench, and 3 white lights, a good lift. Now it's interesting because we said that the lighter women don't tend to sink into their chest much, but you can see Alba does here a bit.
She had to adjust her technique majorly because of the rule change with the elbow depth. Like, she had a very, very low, narrow range of motion before, and that was her way to adjust to that, and she managed to do it successfully, basically benching as much as she did before.
We now have Betty Amara of the Netherlands jumping 2.5 kilos to 80 kilos as we kick off our second attempts.
Yeah, and I think I suggested a 2.5 kilo jump would be more safe, and they agreed. And when I say they, the Netherlands coaching staff, the Dutch coaching staff, sorry. So, second attempt, 2.5 kilos below her personal best.
And again, a little bit of a sticking point in the middle, but does really well to get it up. And it is a good lift for Betty.
Yeah, she looks a little bit confused as well when she walks out, but I think just add another 2.5 kilos and...
I feel confused when I lie down sometimes. We now have 80 kilos on the bar for Lucy Robinson of Great Britain, a 5 kilo jump from her opener. If I remember correctly, it moved quite nicely.
It moved quite nicely, yes.
It's a matched PB for Lucy, should she get this.
That basically looked exactly like her opener, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see from a different angle.
And it's a good lift. See a little bit better here. Yeah, really strong, keeps position really nicely. We have Federica Casagrande of Italy, 90 kilos. We saw her attempt the world junior record on her final attempt for squats, just missed it. Is coming back strong with a heavy bench press as well. I think she loses a tiny bit of ground in the deadlift. But it's a really strong category.
63s is stacked. I mean, it's basically the weight class. A lot of. Let's see the clamp first. Ah, that is a little bit too heavy. Like, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, maybe a 2.5 kilo jump would have been a smarter move, but hindsight is a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2020. And maybe she can adjust. Like, I don't think it was just strength. I think she can do a little bit better technical wise.
92.5 kilos for Daisy Ariola Garcia of the United States, a 5 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, the 63, 69, that's basically the middleweight weight classes in the women's, and they are stacked because naturally most women will fall, like, from their body, from their height in these categories.
Yeah, similar to the men's, like 93.
Exactly that.
Just been told to re-rack there from the center referee because her elbows were not completely locked out. She has 10 seconds to get the start command, and she's just realized she just needs the start command before the time runs out. And does she make it? Oh, but she is pushing through. But unfortunately, she rushed it down so quickly to her chest that I think she just lost the tension there. But as long as she just keeps her composure, retakes it for her third, I'm sure she'll come back and get it. I think just took quite a while to get to the platform. Sorry.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate chain of events there.
Absolutely. 92.5 kilos for Yunamura of Japan. Now this is a 7.5 kilo jump. So I think the biggest jump we've seen so far.
She was 4th last year in the World Championships, has a huge deadlift.
She does. If I remember correctly, she attempted around 211, but lost balance. And a really strong attempt.
The only one in the field that attempted a 7.5 kilo increase from first to second, and it worked out. That was a huge risk to take, actually, but we are obviously happy. So now
we now have Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain attempting 100 kilos on her second attempt, and already that will take her into bronze for bench press, including all of the lifters we've already seen.
And she is exactly tied with Isabel Herbera in the projections for 3rd place right now, so every lift is so important, she cannot miss.
And the body weight's really close,
yes.
But Soto Ruiz is slightly lighter.
40 grams lighter. Yeah, that was crucial. Hopefully she gets it, but I think she should. Yes, 3 white lights.
And speaking of which, we have Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany now, 102.5 kilos. Every kilo is going to need to count because she will be fighting for podium overall. I'm sure she would want a bench medal, but I think she'd prefer an overall medal.
Yeah, can't disagree there. But maybe she can get both. Well, anyway, it would be a 5 kilo PB if she gets this, so this would already be huge for her, building the total. But I think that should move. Yeah. She is having the meat of her lifetime right now.
And 3 white lights, a good lift. We now have 102.5 kilos for Ludovine Dilus of France.
the French team is so stacked. Like in the 69s, we have 2 additional super strong girls nominated, 1 and 2. They have so strong lifters. It's amazing. 76 also. So it's a 5 kilo jump that is quite important for the overall outcome of the competition.
Yeah, with Alba upping her bench opener, the race is a lot closer than it was before, which I imagine was Team Sweden's plan. But it's still moving well. Her right arm locks out first and then her left, but still has some energy left in the tank heading into third, and that is a good lift for Ludovine.
Yeah, amazing work from her. Keep staying in the driver's seat.
Our penultimate second attempt, Joy Rindfleisch of the United States jumped 7.5 kilos to 110 for her second attempt. Competing for 1 year, and already her bench press PB is 120 kilos.
She's quite a talent, and she's a hard worker.
And it moves like it.
Yeah. The bench press seems to be a natural habitat. It just looks like she's so confident going to the platform, pressing it. It's amazing.
And 3 white lights, a good lift, and it leaves Joy a really good space to go into her third.
Even with a long range of motion, it's, wow, just strong.
We now have our final second attempt, and we have Alba Bostrom of Sweden jumping 2.5 kilos to 117.5. Already well in front in the bench press. And I'm not sure anyone will catch up for bench press gold with her. But this will add the needed 2.5 kilos to catch up with Ludovine heading into deadlifts. And she does a fantastic job of it. Let's see what the referees say. 3 white lights, a good lift, and I think that even moved better than her opener.
And this sink-in technique with this huge arc is very uncommon. It's very unusual. You don't see that.
It is, especially for the lighter weight classes, because there's not so much to sink into.
Exactly.
So she does a really good job of doing so. Very technical. And we move straight through to our third attempts.
Yeah.
And we will then follow with a 10-minute break before deadlifts. But first up, we have Betty Abera of the Netherlands. We could just see Betty. There she is, Betty Abera of the Netherlands, 82.5 kilos. 2.5 kilo jump from her second to match her current bench press PB.
No.
Yeah, a little heavy for her today, but doesn't lose out on too much as she only jumped the minimum amount. We now have Lucy Robinson of Great Britain, 82.5 kilos, 2.5 kilo jump from her second, which was already a PB, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. And it moved really well, so just add on to that.
Yeah, 2.5 kilos, a nice conservative jump after that quick second. And I think actually, even though that moved well, it was the right call, because the brakes come on so hard and fast in bench, it's not worth risking the next jump up, which would have been double that jump.
Yeah, that it's normally not worth it. It's from, point.
And it's a good lift. We now have Federica Casagrande of Italy, missed 90 kilos on her second and is looking to retake it now on her third. She is still
just
pushing.
not there. She does not have the best day, unfortunately. 3 out of 6 attempts made until now. Hopefully she'll get a nice deadlift session.
Yeah, and still walks away, I believe, with the squat silver.
Yeah, that is quite something.
We now have Daisy Ariola Garcia of the United States, 92.5 kilos. Ran out of time on her second, just got the press command, but felt very rushed. So hopefully with the extra time now, she has 40 seconds to get that start command. I can really take her time.
Gets a command now and presses it through.
Yeah, gets it up this time round with a little bit more time, and it is a good lift for Daisy Ariola Garcia.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but I think she missed out on most 2.5 kilos. I think 95 would already have been quite a grind. So it's not too bad.
We have now Yu Nomura of Japan, 95 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from her second. And I was right, she did attempt 211 in Turkey and just missed it off of balance issues, I think. So excited to see her deadlift. Wow, a fantastic push from Yu.
Hopefully there was no downward movement. I don't think there was.
Oh, there wasn't, but unfortunately gets called from elbow depth from the center referee and gets a yellow call from the right-hand side referee. Let's look at that replay.
It's hard to know what the yellow was for, at least from that angle. I cannot really tell.
Yeah, unfortunately the coach goes to the jury, but is sent away. 105 kilos now for Clara Isabel Heibera of Germany. Already has bench press bronze and can only wait to see if she keeps it.
Well, there's 2 girls who could contest it, but she has to get this first. Isabel did pole dancing before powerlifting and had to stop because of a shoulder injury, and that brought her to powerlifting. She was always very sportive, very strong.
Oh, and she pushes through a perfectly called third attempt there. And we wait, and it is a good lift. And that bronze bench medal can only be taken away from her by Soto Ruiz, as she's the only lifter lighter than her, taking 105 kilos. And speaking of which, we now have Inmaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain, 105 kilos to pull her into bench press bronze, but also the extra kilos to stay projected third overall ahead of Heibera. Oh, and she is fighting, but it's just too heavy for her, and that slightly closes the gap heading into deadlifts.
And now Heibera is projected third, like she just is now in the driver's seat. So that was maybe a risk she shouldn't have taken, the Spanish team shouldn't have taken. Well, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, as we said before, but that was maybe not necessary, playing the long game.
We now have Ludovine Delos of France, 105 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump, looking for those extra kilos to stay ahead of Alba. This won't be for a bench medal, but she's going to want the kilos, as there's only a couple of kilos that separates them if Alba gets her next bench.
She weighed in at exactly 63 kilos, so that was probably quite the cut she had to do.
And she fights it up. Can she lock it out? She is frozen. Yeah, unfortunately, a great effort from Ludovine, but it's not quite there. Which means, should Alba get her next bench, she moves 0.5 kilos ahead of Ludovine heading into deadlifts.
I can only say, wow, like this shapes up exactly as we wanted to.
But Before that, we have Joy Rindfleisch of the United States jumping 7.5 kilos again to 117.5. She already has the bench press silver, but again, this will just add 7.5 kilos to that bench.
Yeah.
And she is fighting through. Can she lock it
Wow,
out?
wow, that's unbelievable.
The left
that's
arm goes,
unbelievable.
the right arm goes. Let's wait
cannot-
for the referees.
I cannot believe it.
2-1, a good lift. She gets a blue from the center referee for downwards movement, but it is a good lift. Let's have a look at that again. The left arm goes, followed by the right arm, and it doesn't look like it goes down, so I think she'll be safe.
I don't think I've seen a fight this long with, wow.
We now have Alba Bostrom of Sweden with 122.5 kilos. This now is a 5 kilo jump to her third in an effort to put her 0.5 of a kilo ahead of Ludovine heading into deadlifts. Let's see if she's got it. And she is fighting left arm, right arm once again.
Amazing.
Let's wait for the referees. And 2-1, a good lift. She gets a yellow call from the right-hand side referee. And the jury has overruled it.
That's so unfortunate.
Unfortunately for Alba, that is a no lift for Alba Bostrom.
That's so unfortunate for her.
So that means the gap is still slightly there between her and Delos, but only a few kilos, as you can see here. We are going to take a 10-minute break now before we head into deadlifts and find out finally who will stand where on the podium. Very quickly, we see Alba Bostrom walks away with bench press gold. We have Joy of the United States walking away with bench press silver. And we have Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany walking away with bench press bronze. Now, because Alba's last bench was overturned, these aren't the right standings heading into deadlifts, but it is really very close. So don't go anywhere, and we will see you in 10 minutes' time.
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute
To start the lift.
In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
Hello and welcome back to the 2023 IPF World Classic Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships. I'm Amelia Potter, joined today here with Hendrik Becker, German international coach. Thank you for joining me this morning, Hendrik.
Thank you, Amelia. It's been a pleasure, and it is going to be a great deadlift session.
It really will. And heading into it, we can see where we're sitting currently as it stands. Ludovine is currently ahead of Alba, but we don't know where it's going to end up. We have 2 flights of lifters, and the first flight with the first lot of 63 kilo women, but we won't know where everyone ends up until we have seen both flights of ladies. And kicking us off, we have Melissa Akos of Turkey opening on 135 kilos.
She is one of my favorite lifters of the session. Like, it's just like, you know, just the energy that she has on the platform. I just love it. And now she's even lifting conventional. I mean, always a heart for conventional.
And it's nice and easy. She skips off the platform. She has energy to spare. 3 white lights and a good lift.
So don't go anywhere. Deadlifts move really, really fast.
Especially openers.
Especially openers.
We now have Anne-Sophie Brice of Belgium, 140 kilos.
Her PB is 163 kilos, so this should not be a problem at all. Again, a conventional lifter.
So conventional is when the feet are close together and the hands are then on the outside of the legs. Sumo, which I'm sure we will see, is a wider stance with the hands on the inside. That was a good lift. And we now have Megan Janes of Canada opening on 140 kilos. Not only with their opening attempt do they continue to build their total, they secure their total, as you need 1 of each discipline on the board to secure a total. That's a lovely, speedy opener for Megan. 3 white lights, a good lift.
And I think that already puts her at a no, not quite. Like, yeah, 342.5 subtotal total right now.
We now have Yu Hui Chua of Singapore, 142.5 kilos.
Yeah, it's as we said before, a first international competition. She's lifting sumo deadlift style. Easy work for opener.
And a good lift.
Normally, especially for the deadlift, you want to open a little bit even light, like really light, because often like You can adjust for bench or squat normally technically, but in the deadlift, if it's just too heavy, then it's over.
Absolutely. And let's hope that's not the case for Patricia Tomczyk of Poland, opening on 150 kilos.
2.5 kilos below her PB, and it actually looked a little bit like it, to be honest.
But, you know, with sumo, it is more normal to see it a little slower off the floor and then rewarded with a quick lockout.
That's true, yeah.
And conventional is usually true of the opposite way around. Just waiting for one of the referees. 3 white lights, a good lift, and we move straight through now to Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland, opening on 150 kilos.
Yeah, that was really nice, really easy. Everyone doing a good job in this first round.
And that is a good lift. $160 kilos for Jana Dutedois of Belgium.
So her PB is 175 kilos. Only competing for 1 year. She's a long-limbed lifter, which normally indicates a pretty good deadlift.
Yeah, and that opener would say so as well. 3 white lights, a good lift. We now have Dominika Jansova of Czechia, 160 kilos. And that is a good lift. We now have Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada, 167.5 kilos.
Next will be Alison Grace, followed by the second series of attempts are with Akkus.
Nice, strong looking opener. And 3 white lights, a good lift. Grace Allenson of Great Britain, opening on 177.5 kilos, the heaviest opener in this first flight.
And that is already a huge number.
Yeah, the world junior record is 216, held by Samantha Eugenie.
Samantha that moved up a weight class to 69s, but Grace did a great job with her opener.
Yeah, looking really strong there. And I can't imagine there's anything wrong with that, but we still wait for the referee's lights to confirm.
Yeah, seems to be a slight problem with one of the mobile phones.
And it's a good lift. There we go. Yeah, I would have been surprised if it was anything otherwise. We move to our second attempts now, and kicking us off, we have Melissa Akkus of Turkey, jumping 10 kilos to 145.
With a slight head nod on the top, very great.
Right, you see that?
So, what does it say? Like, what do I do now? That was easy, or what? Let's see it in the replay. And here it comes.
The eyebrow raise. Absolutely fantastic. We love the emotion, and it's a good lift. 147.5 kilos for Megan Janes of Canada.
Yeah, her personal best in total was 380. She's quite below that, but it's her debut on the world stage, so nicely done.
Yeah, and it stuck true on her second. That it was a little stickier off the ground and a quick lockout. And it's a good lift. We now have Anne-Sophie Bries of Belgium, 150 kilos, a 10 kilo jump.
Yeah, she's also having fun on the platform. And she's also, I think, a pretty long-limbed lifter. Lends itself to conventional deadlift.
Yeah, and typically conventional is a little easier to grind out than a sumo. And it's a good lift. I mean, a great example of that is Kimberly Warford.
Oh my god, yeah. Her deadlift is just a show. Like, you should pay money to watch it. Like, it's really great. And her squat as well.
Yu Hui Chua of Singapore, 155 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener. And still looking really strong.
Yeah, she took a lot of speed from the floor, and then she just had to get her shoulders back. Like, it's a little bit... Like, there's so different approaches to this. Like, she was a little bit rounder back, then it's harder at the top. But there was an excess of strength there, so she easily could pull it through.
Yeah, and a rounder back isn't always a bad thing necessarily. It's also depending on the athlete's anatomy. We have Patricia Tomczyk of Poland, 157.5 kilos. Got a little sticky there on the way up, but manages to lock it out, and it is a good lift.
Yeah, and she's a lifter. I think everything looks a little bit heavy for her, even if it's not. Like, it's just always a little bit slower, a little bit more shaky.
Yeah, and we've seen many successful lifters over the year who lift like that.
Exactly.
160 kilos now for Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland. A 10 kilo jump from her opener. And this would match her current deadlift PB on her second. So I think if I'm correct, that means she would be PBing all three lifts.
Oh, I don't... then I couldn't follow that, actually. But you are probably correct. And that looked good.
Yeah, hard off the ground, but manages to lock it out. Probably nearing her top end there, so a smaller jump probably seems sensible, but a good lift nonetheless.
I would actually do 2.5 kilos here. Even if it hurts in deadlift to just jump 2.5. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We will see what they decide to do.
We have Jana Dutedois of Belgium, 167.5 kilos. A 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, pretty normal jump in that range. And that looked actually quite easy. I think there's 175, 3 reds. Should be in her, I believe.
And that is a good lift. Yeah, it did slow down a little bit, so maybe she'll take a slightly smaller jump, but it depends the lifter and how well they can grind. So we'll have to see what she puts in for that third and whether she'll go for that milestone. First up, though, we have Dominika Jansova of Czechia, jumping 10 kilos to 170 for her second attempt.
Kilo jump, 10 kilo below a PB. As we said, she competed equipped earlier, and I think it shows a little bit. That is really hard to do, and I admire that. Good lift.
That is a good lift, and if I remember correctly as well, when watching her equipped, she managed to pull through really well on difficult deadlifts. So I wouldn't be surprised if she came back and got that third after a difficult second. 175 kilos now, 3 red plates aside for Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada.
Yeah, there we have the 3 reds. Good lift. Again, very little drama in here.
Yeah, really nice looking opening attempt there. And already in this first flight of ladies hitting such high numbers. You can only imagine what we've got to come. And one of those big numbers we have coming up now, a 10 kilo jump for Grace Allenson of Great Britain, 187.5 kilos.
Yeah, that's just a huge deadlift.
Yeah, just 28.5 kilos below the world record. On her second attempt in the first flight of ladies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Manages really well to pull that up, especially with her hips kind of swished side to side there.
I mean, people say that convention is not that much of a technical lift, and that is certainly true. But I think that something went a little bit wrong there. I cannot know for sure. We will see in the third.
Yeah, but she does a really good job of locking it out, and it's a good lift. I imagine we'll just see a smaller jump there into her third, and we go straight into our final attempts for this first flight of ladies. As you can see here, with Grace Allenson of Great Britain leading. Of course, we won't know where everybody ends up in terms of individual or overall medals until we've seen everybody lift. We have Melissa Akers of Turkey jumping 7.5 kilos to 152.5.
And I think she can get this. Wow, look at her face. Her energy is amazing. I think that is a good lift. And the referees agree.
Yeah, a good lift.
Great.
And such an emotive lifter. It's great to watch.
Great meet for her. I'm not sure if she got all her attempts, but a lot of them. And she had fun.
Yeah, having fun is huge. We now have Anne-Sophie Bries of Belgium, 152.5 kilos, 2.5 kilo jump from her second.
Yeah, as said before, that's not something that you want to in deadlift, but sometimes it's just the right choice. Let's see how it pans out for her.
And it seems like the right choice for Anne-Sophie. And she gives a heart to the crowd and to you at home. 3 white lights, a good lift, and she finishes the day smiling. We now have Megan Janes of Canada, 152.5 kilos for her third and final attempt.
Wow. So much patience from the floor, and she doesn't get her shoulders back.
Yeah, unfortunately just misses that lockout there.
Yeah, she's looking at her left hand as well, but I think that was not the cause. That was just the result of it being stuck there for so long. Great composure, like she didn't do anything wrong. It was just...
Yeah, just struggled to get her hips through at the end there.
Just like a kilo too much or so.
And she is amped up, ready to go. Patricia Tomczyk of Poland runs onto the platform to attack 160 kilos for her third and final attempt. But unfortunately, not quite there today for Patricia.
She's a little bit dizzy, I believe, but that happens sometimes at deadlifts. She looks fine now.
Yeah, when you're attempting to pull the heaviest you've ever pulled, sometimes it can take the blood from your head.
And you have a lot of Instagram videos if you want to. If you search for it, you will find it on YouTube.
And it took until the third round to get any missed lifts, which is amazing to see. And next out, we have 165 kilos for Yu Hui Chua of Singapore. a 10-kilo jump from her second. Bit of a deadlift specialist if you look at her other lifts. And she's super patient with it, but unfortunately it's just too heavy today.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a risk. Gravity is just cruel.
It's very cruel, it's very real. And it definitely feels so on deadlifts. 165 kilos for Jessica Jeremes of Switzerland. A 5-kilo jump from her second, which I think we thought was a good move there for her.
I thought a 2.5 would be a good move, so I'm really interested if I'm proven right or hopefully proven wrong and she can just get this. Well,
unfortunately, just a little bit too heavy for Jessica, but still walks away with a huge 160-kilo deadlift.
yeah. We're moving fast toward the second flight, 4 deadlifts left.
And we have Dominika Jansova of Czechia jumping 2.5 kilos to 172.5 for her third and final attempt. Oh, and struggling there, and unfortunately can't quite make it through that sticking point.
Yeah, but she didn't do anything wrong. She tried. Third deadlift is where you can send it, especially if it's not for a particularly medal finish. Go for a PB. See what you have in there. It was a good try. Just 1 centimeter more, and she probably can push through.
We now have Jana Dutedois of Belgium, 175 kilos, attempting that 3 red plates aside for her final lift.
Yeah, I think that was what I suggested when I saw her second. I think she can do this actually.
Wow.
Yeah, perfectly chosen attempt, I think.
A great call there and a wonderful last pull.
Super happy with that. Congratulations. Nicely done.
And 3 white lights, a good lift. We have 2 lifts left before moving through to the next flight of lifters. First up, we have Janelle Jolicoeur of Canada, 180 kilos. And she breaks the ground. She is still moving. She locks it out.
Oh, wow.
But unfortunately, there was some assisting of the legs there on the way up, which is what I was waiting to see the referee's lights before I mentioned. Yeah, just there.
It is. If you get 3 reds, then there's really no... That's it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear,
Then
unfortunately.
you gave too much doubt. But that was a clear-cut case. But a great grind anyway.
We now have Grace Allenson of Great Britain, 195 kilos for her third and final attempt. This is an absolutely huge final pull and only 21 kilos below the world record. In the first flight of lifters, incredible performance. And she breaks the ground.
Yeah, come on, go on.
Can she lock it out?
Lock it out.
Oh! I was so close to saying she does, but unfortunately she does not today. But ends on 187.5 kilos, which is still huge.
Such a great try. And I think I just shouted in the microphone. My apologies, it wasn't voluntarily. I was just overwhelmed by grief for this deadlift.
I'm sure Grace will appreciate your support and emotional investment.
I surely hope so.
And we move straight through now to the second flight of ladies. Kicking us off, we have Joy Rindfleisch of the United States, 160 kilos.
Yeah, and basically the fate of a lot of very strong bench pressers, they come out first in the deadlift. Great try. Really easy.
Yeah, a really easy attempt. Secured her total, and I'm sure will make a pretty big jump there to her second base off that.
Yeah, squats didn't go as planned, but bench was amazing, and I think deadlift shape up to be pretty good.
We now have Federica Casagrande of Italy opening on 165 kilos.
Yeah, she's 3 out of 6 so far, so not the best day. Hopefully she can pull it together in deadlift and get herself a nice total. Projected at 9th place currently. That was nice and easy.
Yeah, and with that she secures her total. 3 white lights, a good lift. $170 kilos on the bar for Daisy Ariola Garcia of the United States.
She's also a very energetic lifter in all 3 lifts. And that was great. A little bit slow at the top, but nothing to worry about.
No, that looked really nice. She runs off the platform. 3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, super speedy. Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany, 177.5 kilos. Now she will be fighting for overall 3rd,
And
along with Soto Ruiz of Spain.
And I was informed that the Dutch girl also has a pretty big deadlift, so Isabel is concerned about her as well. Isabel is, after 2 disciplines, 20 kilograms above her personal record, so she has the meet of her lifetime. I think this should move quick. Oh wow, that was easy.
And it's well worth opening light like that to secure your total, especially if you're in contention for podium.
German record stands at 186, so I'm pretty sure this will be broken.
Yeah, looks like it. And I alluded to this earlier, and I did remember correctly, Yu Nomura of Japan has got a big deadlift and did attempt the world record last year in Turkey. And is now opening with 185 kilos. I think she brought this up from her original opener. So let's see how this moves.
Yeah, that looked fine.
Yeah, and that is a nice looking opener. And 3 white lights, a good lift. She bows and calmly walks off the platform. We now have Lucy Robinson of Great Britain, 185 kilos. Wow, and that was super snappy.
That was nice.
And 3 white lights, a good lift for Lucy. I'm seeing some really easy looking openers and expecting some big jumps, and we're seeing some.
Yeah, Lucy currently projected in 6th place. And now we get to the medal contention again.
Yeah, we have Alba Bostrom of Sweden opening on 190 kilos, a huge deadlift, slightly below Ludovine's, so it will be a tight race there towards the end as Alba made up a lot of ground and bench.
Yeah, she pulled 210 in training. As we said, she had to cut quite a bit, but she seems unfazed, like both disciplines went well, and that was really easy. She means business.
Yeah, and that was a very easy opener. She secures her total and shows Ludovine that she means business.
Oh, this is getting so exciting. I cannot wait. It's great.
It is a really exciting session, as you said, and the race is close. And I'm sure we'll see a few people stab at that junior deadlift record, but we'll have to wait. We have Betty Abera of the Netherlands, 197.5 kilos, had a really strong squat, and I'm sure her deadlift will reflect that as well.
Yeah, her bench is 80 look at her arms. Wow, these are long. I didn't notice before, to be honest. Like the coach of Isabel told me that she can lift like up to 230. I cannot believe that's true, but maybe she can. Let's see what she does.
Let her lifting speak for her. Composes herself, ready to show us what she's got. Wow.
Yeah, that is...
and that was speed.
That is scary.
3 white lights and makes 197.5 kilos move like an empty bar. And we still have 2 openers left. These are incredibly strong women and still juniors. We now have Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain opening on 200 kilos, just 16 kilos below Samantha Eugeni's world junior record.
Yeah, I'm sure this will be attacked in this session. Yeah, she did the 5 kilo jump from the 2nd to 3rd bench press, which probably was unwise. Maybe she thought she needed it. Let's see what she can do at the deadlifts.
Wow.
Yeah, did she get the down command? Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
It was so fast.
She just managed to lock out really well quickly. Gets the down command, and it's a good lift. And that just goes to show how strong her deadlift is. So the fight between her and Herbera is going to be really, really close. We now have our final opening attempt of Ludovine Delos of France, 200 kilos. And need I remind you again, this is just 16 kilos below the world junior deadlift record. So let's see how this goes for Ludovine on her opener. Had a bit of trouble with squat, but managed to get the world junior squat record on her second.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think that is foretelling of what we're going to see very soon. 3 white lights, a good lift. And we can only wait and see what they put in for her second attempt. And we move straight through to second attempt after that huge set of openers. Every single lifter got an attempt in and secured their total. So they build from here. And first of which we have Joy Rindfleisch of the United States, 170 kilos.
Yeah. Based on her first attempt, I think this will look really good. Yes. Great job.
Yeah, 10 kilos did not slow her down too much. And it is a good lift.
Maybe 180, 75 for the third. I'm really curious.
172.5 kilos for Federica Casagrande of Italy. 7.5 kilo jump. Smooth and steady there. And that is a good lift. $182.5 kilos on the bar for Daisy Ariola Garcia of the United States, a 12.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, first one was really quick from the floor. At the top it slowed down a little bit, but yeah, not by much. That's very good.
Really nice work of that jump. 3 white lights, a good lift, and gives herself a great opportunity to make another jump and grow her total into third attempts. We now have Clara Isabella Heiberer of Germany, who made a big jump to 190 kilos from her opener of 177.5. It did move really nicely, and she is fighting to stay in that third position overall.
Yeah. Ever since I saw her first at Junior Nationals last year, I've told everyone in Germany that she's the next big thing in German powerlifting for women. And I vow for now that I don't sound like a broken record and bring it up in every conversation. This is the last time. Look for yourself. She is great.
Yeah, and it shows there on her second. 3 white lights, a good lift, and still plenty to go in the tank for her third.
She really cleaned up her technique. Like, she was always like very round back lifter, and then she had trouble at the top. And look at this now. Like, they really made a great adjustment in training in the last few months.
Lucy Robinson of Great Britain, 192.5 kilos for her second attempt.
That is tying her personal best. In the second attempt, 7 years competing, that's great actually. And it's a huge deadlift.
Yeah, has been well in the scene since she was a sub-junior. And still moving really nice and quickly there.
And still 2 years to go in the juniors, so really cool.
And that is a good lift. We now have Yu Nomura of Japan jumping 15 kilos to 200, and I did think she would make a big jump after seeing her deadlift in Turkey.
Yeah, that was her initially an opener, the 200, but I think, let's see, she should be able to handle that normally.
Oh, I'm struggling to break the ground there.
And I'm jinxing again.
And it seems that 15 kilos, was a bit too much of a jump for Yu Nomura today, but she has a third try of that.
Well, she's a very technical lifter, so she might be able to make adjustments, although...
Yeah, but if it is strength, that's something you can't really come back from.
And we can't really see it here.
We now have Alba Bostrom of Sweden jumping 10 kilos to 200 kilos for her second attempt. And this will pull her ahead of Ludovine for the time being. Overall, and on deadlifts, as she is lighter, and wow, did that fly.
She is happy with herself, and she should be. Great work.
And 3 white lights, a good lift, just in case you missed it, let's look at that again on the replay. And has plenty left in the tank. It will be an exciting race towards the end between Bostrom and Delos. We now have Betty Abera of the Netherlands, 207.5 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from her opener, and that was really nice. Struggling a little bit at the lockout. She does get the down command. And 2-1, a good lift. Just the right-hand side saying insufficient lockout. So let's have a look at that again. Had a bit of trouble towards the top there.
Oh, looked good to me, but there's not much left, I would say. Maybe 5.
Ludovine Delos of France jumps to 207.5 kilos on her second attempt, and this will pull her back ahead of Alba. Should she get this? Her opener was super speedy, so I imagine this won't be too different. And she gets it up, locks it out with ease. And 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, strength-wise it looked good.
She has to be careful. Her knees tuck slightly. She's okay there, but if she does it any more on her last, she might be in trouble.
Yeah, if she loses speed, then it becomes a problem. With this speed, it is not so much.
We now have our final second attempt before heading through to the third attempt, where we will find out who will walk away the 63 kilo world champion. Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain, 210 kilos on her second attempt, 6 kilos below the world junior record. Let's see if this moves as quickly as her opener. It is a 10 kilo jump for her.
I think she missed the World Championships last year, but medaled 2 times at Europeans, and I think the opener looked really good. I think 10 kilo is well within her reach, and she will fight for bronze.
And still moving really nicely there for Soto Ruiz. 3 white lights, a good lift. And pulls herself in contention for an overall medal.
Yeah, she's 5 kilos behind Herbera, but she's lighter, and Herbera has to lift first, as you can see now.
And we move through to our third and final attempts, where we will find out who walks away 63 kilo champion. And as you can see, there is 2 kilos between Ludovine and Alba, and just 5 kilos, as you said, between Clara and Inmaculada. And kicking us off here, we have Federica Casagrande of Italy, 180 kilos for her third and final attempt.
Tying her personal best.
Ooh, a little bit of trouble on the way up there. And unfortunately gets called for downwards movement.
Yeah, I think too bad for her. Not the best meet, 5 out of 9. But she gave it her all.
We now have Joy Rindfleisch of the United States, 182.5 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump from her second to finish the day off strong. She breaks the ground, but unfortunately it's just a little too heavy for her today. She shakes the hands of the referees.
That was an aggressive third attempt. I don't know what the reasoning behind this is. Like it seems like something, maybe positioning probably, or maybe I don't really know. I cannot see it actually, but anyway, like her debut as a junior, it was good. The bench medal she has.
Yeah, it wouldn't have changed her position, but maybe a personal goal there would have taken her to 10th overall, which she currently sits in as it stands. We now have Daisy Ariola Garcia of the United States, 192.5 kilos. Unfortunately, just a bit too heavy for Daisy today, but still walks away with 182.5 kilos, a huge deadlift attempt.
$200 for Isabel. Wow. They really want to challenge the Spanish lifter. Yeah, so Isabel is coming out for a third attempt. Like she has to lift first. The Spanish lifter will put in whatever is necessary. Yeah, so she will challenge the Spanish lifter. That is a huge risk to take, but the second one moved really well. I talked to her before and she said she thinks she can do 200.
And here she is attempting it. Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany, jumping 10 kilos to 200 kilos, currently sat in third overall, and the kilos are going to help her a lot to stay ahead of Soto Ruiz.
What a showing of confidence to jump 10 kilos while already being 5 kilos ahead. That's wow. Let's see it.
Wow, and she manages to lock it out.
Wow, that is amazing.
And that is a good lift, and that means that Soto Ruiz will need to put on 2.5 kilos from what she's already put on, so 225 to be able to match that. And Soto Ruiz is the lighter of the two, ever so slightly. But first up, we have Yu Nomura of Japan, 200 kilos. Seemed a little bit heavy on her second, but let's see if she can get it here on her third. Yeah,
it's just not there today.
But she gave it, she's still going, wow, gave it everything she had. That was a 10-second attempt off of the floor.
She's unhappy with her performance, but she's done amazing in the past, and she will bounce back, we're sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is a huge deadlift nonetheless that she walks away with, and as you said, I'm sure she will come back for more in the future. We have just 5 lifts remaining, and 3 of them will be having a stab at the World Junior Deadlift record. First up, we have Lucy Robinson of Great Britain attempting a huge milestone of 200 kilos. This won't move her total overall, but it will give her a huge total of 457.5 kilos.
Wow.
What a strong end to the day for Lucy Robinson of Great Britain. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Great competition from her. Wow, I'm impressed.
And she skips off the platform.
She will finish in 5th, probably, maybe 6th, depending on the Dutch lifter, Abora.
Really good calls from the GB team today, and really good performance from Lucy. Now we have Alba Bostrom of Sweden, 207.5 kilos. This will pull her into deadlift bronze for the time being, but more importantly, will pull her into first place overall ahead of Ludovine, who has put in 230, just waiting to see what Alba's going to do. So can Alba now pull herself into first place ahead of Ludovine.
Yeah.
It
that
looks
looked
like
good.
she can.
Yeah, when I saw the second, I thought 207.5 would be the best call.
3 white lights, a good lift, and we've had an attempt change. I can only assume there from the French team. And we're watching as it comes in. They have moved it down to 215 kilos. They're not going to try the World Junior Deadlift record. They just want the win overall, and I can't blame them. It's not worth the risk. So we will see how that all unfolds, but it doesn't mean that we won't see at least one stab at the record. Betty Abor of the Netherlands has also brought it down, so it isn't attempting the record.
And Sotomayor is attempting the record, but she doesn't seem to attack Herberer for third currently.
So now we have Betty Abora of the Netherlands, 210 kilos, and this will move her into deadlift gold for the time being, with Ludovine and Immaculada to follow. Should they miss theirs, she will walk away with deadlift gold. Also leaves her in a 450 total. Does she have the extra 2.5 kilos in her? It looks like she might. And does she hold it at the top? Let's wait and see. 3 white lights, a good lift, and she pulls herself into deadlift gold with 2 lifts remaining.
Oh, that's great. What a wonderful session.
Yeah, and we're not quite done yet. We have Ludovine Delos of France pulling just 1 kilo below the World Junior record to pull her 2 kilos ahead of Alba Bostrom. She is the heavier of the 2 lifters, so needs to pull and get a higher total. So for the 63 kilo junior world title, we have Ludovine pulling 215 kilos. Who will walk away with gold overall? Will it be Team France or Team Sweden?
I think this is in her reach. Let's see.
She locks it out, and it looks like it's Team France. We wait. 3 white lights. Your new 63 kilo world champion, Ludovine of France, with a 502 kilo total. And we have Alba Bostrom in silver and Haberer of Germany in bronze, but we are not done yet. There is 1 lift remaining, so don't you go anywhere. We are now heading into a world deadlift record attempt for Immaculada Soto Ruiz. She's not chasing 3rd overall, but she is chasing the world record for a final time. Immaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain, 216.5 kilos to take the world record from Samantha Eugenie. And it's moving. Oh, unfortunately, it's not hers today, but what a fantastic effort and what an exciting session we have seen. Wow.
I'm a little bit speechless. I mean,
I don't blame you. What an amazing session from these ladies.
I expected it's something like this, but it's like oh my god, the crowd was excellent, the lifters were excellent. Great attempts, like 5 world record attempts in total. Great battle between Team France, Team Sweden.
Yeah.
Great performance from the German lifter who snuck in a 34 kilogram PB.
And we can see here in deadlift gold, we have Ludovine of France. In silver, we have Betty of the Netherlands. And on bodyweight in bronze, we have Immaculada of Spain. And overall, your 63 kilo champion Ludovine de Los of France. In silver, Alba Bostrom of Sweden. And sneaking in bronze, Clara Isabel Heiberer of Germany. We will be going through to the medal ceremony now, so don't go anywhere. We will rejoin you as well at 1 o'clock local time for the 74 kilo sub-junior men. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you soon.
sacrifices that brought them to be competing here today in Luzhnakova in the World Championship for juniors and sub-juniors for 2023. Good job, everyone. You're all winners for being here today. And now start with the squat. Best results in squats. Now we invite Clara Isabel Piper from Germany. And we have the bronze medal. Next will be Federica Casagranda from Italy. Again, 177.5 kilograms for diamond only. Gave her the second place and silver medal. And now Ludivine Della from France, 184.5 kilograms, gold medal and world record holder for France. Congratulations for all their hard work, and let's move now to the bench press ceremony. And we have now again Clara Isabel Heimerer from Germany, third place, 105 kilograms. Let's give her the bronze medal. Next will be having Joy Ringfish from the United States. Second place with 117.5 kilograms. And finally, first place and world champion in bench press. It's Alba Bostrom from Sweden. 170.5 kilograms that get her gold medal today. Next, congratulations for all that you have achieved. And now let's move to the deadlift. We'll be starting now with the third place, Immaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain. Third place, 210 kilograms, bronze medal. Next we'll have Betty Abora from the Netherlands. 210 kilograms, and her silver and second place today in deadlifts. And Ludivine Della France, 2015 kilograms. A strong heavy that gets her gold. Congratulations, and now let's see what the totals might have for us. And for the total results, we invite Clara Isabel Heiperer from Germany. Third place with 482.5 kilograms, and she gets the bronze medal in totals. We have now Alba Bostrom from Sweden, second place, world champion with 500 kilograms total and silver medal in these championships. And first place, we have Ludivine Della from France, 502 kilograms, world champion in 63 kilograms category juniors. Congratulations, and please all raise for France national anthem.
Everybody stand up.